and they can share.
They can play along.
They can play along with me if you go to coinshowradio.com. I see Barry already. He's on his way. And if you go to coinshowradio.com and you go to the What Walked In gallery,
top left,
doesn't
look like much, but
well, except for the provenance, the name that I saw associated with this.
That's right.
So this just walked into your shop.
I didn't. Yep, sure did. Didn't get a phone call or anything.
And, so, Matt, tell us, what is the coolest thing that walked into your shop this week?
Coolest thing that walked into my shop this week was a ancient Roman coin. I know we don't talk about it much, but I'm going to talk about it here. And it was made between February and March of the year 44 BC under an emperor that you might have heard of before. His name was Julius Caesar. But obviously by far the most famous of all the Roman rulers, I think. And Julius Caesar, denarius in general, which is what this coin is, it's a silver coin, are super scarce. I mean, they're just absolutely hard to find, and especially so because of all of the popularity that his particular reign has. I mean, everybody knows Julius Caesar.
Yeah, think about the fact that you have probably the most famous ruler in history, and I mean in all history, and you have a tangible link. I mean, Shakespeare wrote a play about his murder.
Yes.
I mean, that's how famous this guy is. And here you have a tangible link to the actual time and rule of this guy.
This fella. Yeah, that's exactly right. This coin was struck under his authority by a person called a moneyer. Now, back in the ancient days, the emperors would kind of anoint these people as moneyers, and these people were experts in actually creating the coin, the specie of the time. So they would dictate what designs would go on them. They would dictate.
Would they be the assayers of the coin?
Yes. Yeah, they would be the people that basically determined
purity,
what the purity was going to be, what the design was going to be, where it was going to be made and issued and circulated. So
now this coin looks finned.
This coin was, it definitely, the design is much stronger at the 12 o'clock portion of the coin. And this just simply has to do with the production methods of the time. Basically, what they would do is they would get a little bitty silver slug that was already, a predetermined weight. They would get it red hot. They would put it down in an anvil, and they would smack it with another, almost, it looked like a chisel almost, but it was actually a die. And then they would pop it out of there and go on to the next one. So, I mean, these were made by hand, basically with a hammer or a mallet. So, having an even strike is not necessarily something that you see on ancients.
Well, having what we would consider to be a complete coin, is almost unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, later they got better, but the earlier stuff is pretty. Is pretty basic, and also these particular dies they basically used these dies until they just destroyed them. And this particular piece was actually a much later die state of the particular die. You can kind of see in the design where it was having some structural issues and failures, but they didn't care as long as they could tell what it was. They kept going.
Well, I think if you look at it, that the design actually looks to be pretty decent. Well, at least on the reverse.
Yeah.
Maybe the obverse die is starting to really show signs of wear, but that reverse, those details are really nice and crisp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it could have been a new reverse die with an old obverse. I mean, that's not unheard of.
New reverse hammer.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's how it worked, really. That is how they did it. So, and this coin just walked in the door. Nobody called about it. Nobody said anything. I just happened to be at the store. So,
with it being from the ruler that it is, I would assume that not only is there very broad appeal for it, among ancient collectors, of course, but
biblical,
even among, and even non-collectors.
Yeah.
Denarius from the reign of Julius Caesar would be of interest. So I would imagine that given the large pool of demand, and the obviously short supply, this would be quite a valuable coin as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, even ugly examples of this particular coin trade in the $500 range. This one right now is actually on its way to NGC to be certified through their NGC Ancients program. I'm guesstimating that the coin will come back as an AU with a really poor strike designation, which is one of the ways that they certify their Ancients. And probably worth anywhere in the, it's hard to say, $1,500 range, something like that.
Now, did you purchase this coin?
I bought it raw, yeah.
So, I mean, the worst part about this is that NGC could turn around and say it's not genuine.
I know enough about Ancients to be dangerous, mostly to myself. So if that's the case, then I screwed up. But I don't think this coin is counterfeit.
You have to really know your stuff, though. I mean, in order to buy a coin of this ilk.
Yeah, I've been spending. A lot of people don't know, but I've spent probably the last 3 years basically teaching myself Ancients, through just doing it, basically buying lots of Ancients, figuring out who they are, figuring out, what they're supposed to look like, how they were made, reading books, doing research. Sometimes I'm still not super confident in my attributions and stuff, but definitely confident enough to know what I was looking at here. So.
And how did you identify that it was? I mean, obviously they're going to be a little bit more famous, but I mean, it's the inscription, right?
Yeah, you have to be able to read. Well, this particular coin, you see that on the obverse, he's kind of has this weird hat on, and that's very typical of Julius Caesar. So you kind of start, and you can see some of the inscription above his head, and so then from there you can determine the issuer of the coin. On the back of the coin, you can actually see the M and the A of the moneyer's name before it goes off the planchet. His name was Macer, Macer, and that would have said that around the bottom edge there. So from there you can determine that, yes, this is Julius Caesar, and this is what you're looking at.
And so what do you expect a coin like this to sell for when it comes back graded AU?
Yeah, like I said, hopefully for around $1,500 would be my guesstimate. It's hard to say, obviously, because I don't know what exactly they're going to say about it because of the strange weakness in the planchet. But
is the grade really going to have a lot to do with it, though? I mean, would an XF be roughly close?
It'll help a little, just with any coin. But and they may very well call it XF. I know how to tell what an ancient, who it is, but I can't grade them to save my life. So that's why on this kind of higher dollar stuff, I usually just turn to NGC and say, you look at it, tell me what it is.
Well, at least it makes it easier to ask, a fair price for it.
Certainly, yeah, I don't want to sell myself short.
Right.
So
no, you definitely don't want to do that.
Anyways, I thought it was something cool and something different, and I thought you guys would enjoy hearing about it.
It is the first picture on our website of an ancient coin.
I think you're right, actually.
We've kind of covered the gamut. We've got colonial stuff. We've got foreign stuff.
Mexican gold.
There's patterns. There's encased postage.
There is.
And now an ancient.
Yeah, maybe we'll actually do a segment on them at some point once I feel confident enough to talk about them and not sound like a dunce.
The rounding of our education continues.
Well, every day.
We'd like to thank our contributors, the people that wrote to us, offered suggestions and ideas, posted to social media, asked questions, or in some other way supported or inspired us. As always, an enormous thanks for listening. Without you, this entire endeavor would be completely pointless.
Would just be two weird guys talking to each other.
Really weird.
Really weird.
Really, really weird. Thanks to Tony Alvarez and the Tony Alvarez Band for our theme music. Visit them at TonyAlvarezBand.com. Also, a big thanks to the Coffin Cats for the use of their music and their disconnection powers of Matt. Visit them at CoffinCatsRock.com. A big thanks to our Facebook coordinator, Andy Simonson. Andy is killing it still in social media, posting new and interesting articles every day. We have blogs on Facebook. We have Twitter. We have a Tumblr.
We have a Tumblr.
We have a Tumblr.
Oh, my.
Coin Show Radio is on Tumblr.
Tumblr or Tumblr?
Yeah,
Is that how you say it in Chicago?
Tumblr. Well, no, that's how New Yorkers do.
New Yorkers
say Tumblr.
Tumblr. Yeah, you got a Tumblr there.
Yeah, you got that. That's Boston.
Oh, sorry.
If you have visited our Twitter or Facebook pages recently, I'm sure you've already enjoyed Andy's work. If you haven't checked it out yet, come and take a look. The stuff that he posts there is varied and interesting, and there's new stuff every day. Share the posts and articles with your friends and the people you know. And speaking of social media, we recently made an addition to our social media family as we started a new place for and about the Coin Show listeners. Our new Facebook group called Friends of the Coin Show is a closed group where we all share our observations, information, discoveries, and things of interest. One of the things that I like most about the group is that everyone who subscribes sees every message.
Yep.
So unlike most of Facebook, where some people see what you post and some don't, our group shares our thoughts and interests with everyone in real time. It's kind of cool because tonight at the last minute, I decided to throw up, hey, we're recording tonight, Google Hangout, and sure enough, bam, it's like
we're hanging out.
We're hanging out, and people that normally come and hang out with us when we record showed up. It's amazing.
Yeah, party time.
So it's kind of like a replacement for our old Coin Show forum where listeners could share their thoughts with everyone and people could respond, but it's way bigger and way nicer, and Facebook pays for it.
And we check it every day.
We do. It's a great place to share stuff and get feedback and opinions. We really like the format. Have you found yourself using it a lot, Matt?
I'm on there every day.
Yeah. So come and check it out. Just search Facebook for groups, and our group is named Friends of the Coin Show. Did you know that this and other recent episodes are available for your listening pleasure on iTunes, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, and of course on our website, CoinShowRadio.com. That's right, and if you visit our webpage at CoinShowRadio.com, you'll find links to listen to or download all of our past episodes. You can also make comments on the episodes there. You can ask us questions through our link to questions at CoinShowRadio.com. Tonight we got email from somebody who wanted to help us with our SEO results.
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
Were they selling little pills too?
Yeah, well, that's somebody else.
Oh.
You can check the current precious metal prices there. You can read the book reviews and recommendations, or see pictures of some of the cool stuff that has walked into Matt's shop, which he's posting much more often.
You finally got me to do it.
Well, raggedy enough. You'll get it done. You'll also find links to our social media pages, so please come and share your thoughts with us. Tell us how we can improve your Coin Show Radio experience, or if you like, just hang out and enjoy the ambience. Whichever you do, share our site, our social media, and our podcast with your friends. It makes you look like an expert in the crowd and way more in the know than your friends. So for the Coin Show, I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And we'll talk to you next time on the Coin Show. And finally in the news, mercifully.
Mercilessly,
yeah. God, that's straight to the blooper reel. And finally, are those restrikes, Matt?
Well, it's possible. And we'll get to that here in just a second. I'll let you finish up.
I was finished.
Oh, that was you. Oh, I'm sorry. That was you finishing up.
That was me kind of giving you a segue.
Oh.
Are they restrikes, Matt? That was,
Well,
I kind of put the ball in your gut.
I feel that. Yeah, I dropped it.
So this has been a really short, abbreviated version of the Coin Show.
Banging it out. Oh, but I like it a little better this way.
Do you?
I kind of do. I mean, it flows better. I think we wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
I know,
but
I'm used to hitting it for close to an hour.
That needs to definitely make it in the bloopers. I'm used to hitting it for close to an hour. That's horrible.
You know what I mean.